All right, we are live. I am very excited to be here. This is Donna Tashton, if you didn't know, with Vibrant Living International. And I wanted to share my special friend with you, Annie. Annie has a passion to help people speak with confidence. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. And it isn't necessarily speaking on a stage. We speak all the time in every aspect of our life, in family relationships, in business and job relationships. We are always speaking. And how do we do that with confidence and often, that word.
Authenticity.
There we
It
go.
takes a
That
really
word.
long time sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah. And how do we do that and actually get the things that we want out of life? So, Annie, introduce yourself a little bit more, and what are your thoughts today about this?
Oh, I'd love to. Thank you. First of all, thank you so much for having me on. And thank you to everybody who's watching. I mean, honestly, anyone who's watching, like, do hashtag live and let us know your questions. Let's know what's going on. I am someone that loves, and I have such a passion to help people not only find their voice, but find their purpose with it. Because I think public speaking is one of those that it's completely underrated, to be honest with you. And it's completely underutilized because we have grown up, and I don't want to blame the media because what the media is so
Well,
easy to
it's death, taxes, and public speaking.
well, and here's a fun fact. Only about 1% of the population actually really likes to public speak. Think about that. 1% of the population. Think of the population in general. And think about how people just they call in sick to not public speak. Ladies and gentlemen, why are we wasting sick days? Sick days are not meant to be wasted
But the
on
thing
something
is,
like that. So why not? And here's the other thing. I think a lot of times people look at public speaking as, well, I'm not as good as that person, or I don't know, I don't look like that person, or people don't really respect me. My job is not something. Stop. And I've heard a lot about that. And to be honest with you, I got into this field when I worked in the PR marketing. I'm PR marketing communications realm, right?
okay.
I've been there. I've been working 15 plus years, I think. Math has never been my strong suit, so, or I can lie and make it look like I'm younger. So we can do that too. But we never want to lie. We just extend the truth. But what I noticed is I did a lot of promotional events, and most of the people I worked with, I mean, these are people that were severely intelligent, but they did not know how to publicly speak about what they need to do. They didn't know how to lecture. And, I found that to be very disheartening because when I would talk to them one on one, they were wonderful. But the minute some of these people would get up, and these are physicians, these are people that are severely smart. But the minute they'd get up on stage or get up in front of a group of people, all of a sudden everything just kind of went blank. And I hated that. I hated it because I knew this person. I worked with this person leading
Yeah.
up to the event, and I knew that, or they were just super exhausted or whatnot. And I think the worst thing that ever happened was someone coming in. She's like, I'm just going to wing it. And I was like, like a heart attack, right? So please, if you are watching live, we are going to make a promise to me. We never were going to wing a speech again. Okay. Never, ever, ever. But
Oh,
so that's kind of brought me to my journey professionally. And I'm also, a former figure skater turned martial artist. It's so weird to say I'm a martial artist too, by the way, but I've been
it
doing
is
it,
weird.
right?
I'm
It's
sorry.
weird.
I'm sorry. It's just weird.
It's weird. I mean, but I went from one extreme sport to another. And it's really interesting because, I don't want to ever say confidence was never a problem with me. There was always that issue. But at the same time, the sports that I was involved in, the people that I was friends with really helped influence my confidence and my way of thinking. And I looked at it like, okay, well, there's all this stuff. And how do I help other people feel like I feel? And how do I help people get not the confidence I have, but the confidence that's right for them?
So
Because
let's
we
tie
all have
into
a
that
pathway.
a little bit. So perhaps there's somebody listening that goes, Yeah, I've been winging it. Even if it's a presentation in a boardroom or a team meeting, that I'm just kind of winging it and I don't really know how to organize my thoughts and the mindset, as we've talked about before,
Mhm. Yes.
around preparing that. Do you have some tips?
Oh, girl, do I have tips? How much time we got? No, so here's the biggest thing. Winging it is probably the worst thing ever you can do.
Mhm.
I also teach public speaking on the college setting. So that's another thing. It's weird. I'm a college professor. Another weird one. But here's what I always tell my students in college, anyone I work with on one-to-one, it's all going to be the same in the sense of you never wing it. No matter what kind of speech you're doing, you always want it to, even if it is one of those speeches, because there are special occasion speeches that, you don't know you're going to
Yeah.
be talking.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you should prepare to talk. Like the best prepared speech or the best winged speech is the best prepared speech, right? So the best thing you want to do is, and especially if you're in a boardroom or if you have a team, understand that there is a message you have to get out. There is a purpose for you being there. And for you to sound much more, I don't want to say confident, but much more, succinct and make sure that people listen to you, because that's another big one. People are like, I stand up, nobody listens to me.
Mhm.
All right, well, here's how people are going to listen to you. Number one, you never get in and say, well, I'm just going to talk. Anyone can just talk. You need to have a purpose. You need to
Okay.
have that why. And you need to also understand who is going to be in the room and what is the agenda. So, what is it that you need to gain from this meeting? Right? Board meeting, you never, ever, ever go in without a plan. Never. Because you've got something you have to, either you have to ask for money or it might be a positive, a negative, I don't know. But at the same time, you always got to sound like you're prepared, have an idea, have
Mhm.
notes written down. If there's a specific booklet that you're going through, don't just read through the book, but make sure you've got key points you want to pull out. Because
Mm.
again, whenever you're talking, you don't want to be, remember the Peanuts? Yeah, well, remember Peanuts? You know how like the parents were like, wah, 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 or Charlie Brown, right? That's what you turn into if you just start dragging on. So what you really want to make sure you're doing is understand, first of all, what time of day is it? Right? If it's super early in the morning, and if they're anything like me, I don't wake up till 10, honestly. Like my voice, everything, like I'm awake, but cognitively. So you want to make sure
Mhm.
it's a super early morning, or if it's super late, or if it's like a Friday before the weekend, what's the attention span of people? How are you going to get that? Like, how are you going to get what you need to get done? Right. Always have bullet points, always have the things that you want to pull out from a report. If you have to go through an entire report, because sometimes you do, then make sure you go through it before you even talk to anybody, because that way you already know information that's coming out. You never want to be quote unquote surprised whenever you are talking, because you also want to make sure that whatever information you're giving, you're preparing for the questions that are coming.
Mhm.
Right? Because that's where the whole confidence, and that's where the whole, understanding your audience. I mean, there's a whole method to the madness, but the biggest thing I can talk about is your purpose and your why. And make sure that you are doing this in such a way that you don't sound like you're just like, okay. You've already looked through, where you want the conversation to go, and you already are planning for questions that are going to happen. So understand that public speaking in especially a group setting, you need to be on point and you need to have everything down before, you even walk into that room.
Yeah.
I could go on, but I think that's kind of enough
Yeah.
digestible information
With
right now.
with purpose and things, one of the key things that's made a big difference to me is my purpose to impress you, or is
Mhm.
my purpose to help you, or to help the company, or to help someone? It's like, if my purpose is generally to impress you, I'm going to be self-conscious. I'm going to be twitching. I'm going to be fixing my hair. I'm going to be doing all of that. But if I'm thinking about you and
Mhm.
how this information is going to make a difference in your life, like you are today. This information can help us to be able to be more confident. And so to me, purpose and why are super important. Is like, why am I getting up there? The other thing I do to prepare is I go over all the stuff, but I also see myself sitting quietly, if you will. I sit quietly, close my eyes, and see myself doing it and succeeding, and you know, and visualize success instead of, oh, I think this is going to go well. And you worry and you fret and you picture the negative happening and then wonder why it doesn't always go well. And I love our bullet points. Some people want to
Mhm.
write out everything they say, and they're that kind of people. You and I are bullet point girls.
Yeah. Yeah. No. And it's one of those, like, got to get it done. Right.
Yeah.
Uh, and honestly, so I also talk a lot about there's differences between visual aids and speaker aids, right? Speaker aids are basically that. It's to help you. So you
Yes.
figure out what best works for you, because what works for me and you might not work for, the next person. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you're developing a cohesive thought. And here's going to be a big, mind-blowing, shocking moment for some people right now, right? Wait for it. Get it. Ready? Are you ready for like
I'm
the
ready.
best piece of information that I can give everybody? It's not about you.
Yeah.
It's about your audience. And your audience is actually there to support you.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. I think part of the nerves and part of the fear, the anxiety, which we can get to those, in a minute, but part of what makes people not want to talk in front of people is because they think that they're going to be ridiculed. I mean, think about it. We're animals. We're the only animals in the ecosystem that actually have cohesive language and communications. But again, we're animals with instincts, right? And if you think about it, back in like caveman times, which there's different eras of communication, that's my whole nerd zone that we're not going to have to get into. But at the same time, that the caveman time is actually considered the talking era, which lasted about 150,000 years. And basically what that is little groups of people that was their tribe, and it was hunter gatherer, whatnot. You were part of a group. If you were outside of that group, you are now on your own, and it's a survival thing. And that's something we've kind of brought with us. And that's something that's exemplified when you start talking in front of people, because now you almost have that mentality of, I'm no longer in the protection of the group. I am now outside of that group. And that's where a lot of people get tongue-tied and everything, because they don't want to be looked at in a certain way with the group. They want to be accepted by the group. And it's a lot of psychology at this point. And that's where people start tripping up. And and you have to realize they're not there to ridicule you, throw you out, or whatnot. And instinctually, people are like, well, whatever. I don't think like that. You might not, but that's your instincts. Your instincts kick in. And so how you take that down a notch is realize that you're communicating your genius zone. We are here to hear you. You are going to be teaching us something. So what a lot of people fail to realize, it's not about them as a speaker. They already know the information. They don't really gain much from speaking. Who's gaining is the audience.
Yeah.
And so they're there to hear you. They're there to support you. And I mean, we can get into different types of audiences, and that's what we typically, when we're studying this stuff, but in general, they're all there to support you. So that's one of the things that really, once I start talking to people and help coaching them, they realize, and things start kind of calming down a little bit. So that's one of the biggest things. That if you could take anything from today, realize that it's not about you, it's about your audience and what you can give to your audience. So
I agree with that statement. I come from a little bit different philosophy. I believe we were created in the image of God. And so I don't go into the whole caveman thing, but I do agree with the sense that we have a natural instinct to want to love and belong. And when we don't feel that love and belonging is threatened, we go into fight or flight if that kind of feeling is feeling threatened. And understanding what you were saying, that it is about how can I, that was what I was saying with purpose and intention is that my purpose and my why and my intention is to help you. It's not about me. Because if I'm thinking about me, I'm twitching and I'm moving and I'm self-conscious and I fall over my words. But when I'm thinking about helping you and imparting whatever I have, my soul of genius to help people, and it makes the difference, because speaking isn't always, not everybody's going to be on stage or we wouldn't have an audience, and not everyone is going to be, but everyone needs to speak with confidence in all the different situations that we're in life, and learning how to do that is great.
Well,
and important.
It's severely important. And honestly, public speaking, it can be one-to-one or one-to-many.
Absolutely.
You public speak every day. And so that's why redefining what public speaking is, because it's not just, I'm going out and I'm talking to thousands of people. I mean, that's something I would love to do. Are you kidding? It's amazing. But not everyone can do that. It's one-to-one. It's and here's the big thing too, an exercise. So especially people who are looking at it like, I can't even talk to one person. You can't. You just haven't practiced it.
Yes.
So one of the big things that I challenge my clients and my kids I teach is to, whenever you go grocery shopping, I know that especially now, like there's some people that don't even go into the stores anymore, but at the same time, like when you are interacting with people, strike up a conversation with the cashier and say, hi, how are you? Or even say something, or if you see someone walking, here's a great thing. I started doing this years ago. Whenever I see like a woman walk by and I love her outfit, I always say, oh my God, I love that. You look so amazing. Where did you get that? And it is amazing how all of a sudden we have no idea who each other are. We haven't talked ever, but that one moment where we start talking about like, where did you get that skirt? She's like, oh my God, girl, let me tell you where I got that. I love that. And it's an interaction and it helps. And it's a way of communication, because we forget that we're human beings, especially now and this is even before COVID, before all this stuff happened, we're losing that ability to talk to one another.
We are, especially with texting and social media. Nobody makes phone calls anymore. I actually had somebody this week ask me if I could do a text coaching session. I politely declined. First of all, text messaging are highly misunderstood. You cannot hear the tone, the inflection of what people are actually saying. But anyway, that's another subject. We could talk all day about this. I can see that you could.
I was born talking to a wall, girl. I can talk all day. That's why I love finding a business that I can talk all day long.
So how could people get in touch with you if they want some help with getting support on being better at finding their voice? Being better.
Oh God, yeah. So
how would they get in touch with you?
Pretty much. Okay. So first of all, what I can do is I will actually give you a link to my calendar when we're done that you can post, that I have I have times during the week that you can schedule a 15-minute call if you want to talk to me. I'm also on Instagram. It's Calm in Chaos, because I teach you how to be calm in chaos, but it's, number 1 N, because, we had to be different. I can send out information so we can give it to you, but I'm on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook. I have a Facebook group called Find Your Voice. It's a free group. And really what I do there is a lot of my content is with purpose. I will go on and really look at things and really try and dive deep into things to really help people realize, get out of your head and understand that speaking is not hard, but you just got to figure out for yourself how you speak. Right. So,
all right. I'll put all those links on the different platforms after we finish up today. And so
I also have something free for you guys too. Okay. I'm going to send this to you too. I'm going to give something away. I know a lot of people are like, God, you're giving so much information away. How do you like make a living? Well, you know, this is my passion. You know, this is
Yep.
what I want to do. So I also am going to send you, Donna, a link to how to take the ums out of your speech. This is
Ooh,
my free guide that I'm going to give you because I really feel that that's one of the filler words are probably the worst things that can happen to a public speech. And how do we get rid of them? So that's going to be my free gift. And I'll send that over to you.
sounds good.
After we're done with
I
this.
will put all those links under the videos once we complete here, because I can't always see all of your comments. So I want to thank you for taking your time to listen today and helping you find your voice with confidence, helping you speak into it. Remember, I am Donna with Vibrant Living. I help you rise above the pain and disappointments of life so that you can live a life with confidence and ease. And I am here to support you on your journey as well. It has been a pleasure, Annie, having you with us today. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. I always love talking with you.
No, thank you so much. And thank you to everybody else who's listening. I really appreciate you giving me time today. And I hope all of you have a successful, wonderful rest of your week and
Yeah,
talk to
absolutely.
y'all soon.
Bye for now.